I bow to all the seekers of truth. The other day, I told you a little bit about the first center called as Muladhara Chakra and Kundalini, which is the residual consciousness in the triangular bone called as sacrum. As I told you that this is the pure desire power which has not yet been awakened and is not yet manifested within you, which resides here waiting for a moment to arise and to give you your second birth, your baptism. It makes you appear. It gives you your self-realization. This pure desire is to be one with your spirit. This, unless and until it is fulfilled, those who are seeking will never be satisfied, whatever they may do. Now this first center is very important because this was the first center that was created when the primordial being started doing the job. This is the center of innocence, that is holiness. First thing that was created was holiness on this earth. This center is very important in all the human beings because animals have innocence, they have not lost it, while we have a right, or we can say we have a freedom to abandon it. We can do it. We can somehow or other destroy it by our so-called ideas of freedom. Now this center has a power to give us wisdom. Now wisdom is such a word that cannot be explained. Wisdom is the balance between your understanding of what is good and what is bad. Where you really understand what is good for you, for your spirit, is wisdom. And when this center is alive and is not destroyed, then you really know what is wisdom is. For example, the person who has got this center very well developed can tell you whether it is the north or the south. Because the magnetism that is in the Mother Earth, this center is made by the element of Mother Earth. So the magnetism that is in the Mother Earth is there present in this center. When the birds fly all the way from Siberia to Australia, they do it with the help of this center because they know whether they are moving northward or southward. They have an innate wisdom to know which way to move, and that's why one should know that this center is also within us, but we have lost our sense of judgment because we have lost that magnetism within us. An innocent person is really like a magnet, and he attracts the people towards himself just like a flower attracts a bee towards itself. There are some fishes in which they have found actual magnetic field, and in some of them they have even found a regular magnet placed in certain fishes by which they know whether they are going north, south, east or west. This center in us can be destroyed by various ways, as I told you last time. Now if you see from the top there's a blue line coming down. This is the power of our desire, by which we desire, is the emotional side of a human being. When a person neglects his emotional side or does not respect his emotional side, then this center gets lost. It gets very much destroyed. The emotional side in these modern times is not well understood by human beings. I'm sorry to say, but it is very true that when you destroy this center First thing that sets in is impotency or overactivity, like the rapist and all that are created because this center is neglected. Both things are just the same in the eyes of God. Any extreme is wrong. Now those people who say that you can be enlightened through sex are really, I don't know what to call them. Because she is your mother sitting down there. She is only your mother. She has no other child, and she is holiest of holy. She is the Holy Ghost within you. And if you want to sex on your mother, I don't know if people understand that here. In India, it's impossible. We cannot understand this nonsense. So it's the same insult to your mother, like some people try to insult Mother Mary by putting Christ in a very awkward situation with her. It's something like that, we can say, happens when you start talking like this. It's a very great sin to do such a thing to your own mother, which is the Kundalini. And that's why the other day I told you, I have seen some people have Kundalini, which is all the time tossing her head and breaking her whole body and just feeling so helpless because she's made so weak, because the holiness from a person is vanished. Our idea of holiness has become so perverted. And to add up to that, we have now gurus to tell us that it's a very good thing to do, you'll go to heaven. Actually, they are very honest, they say you'll go to bottomless pit, and bottomless pit means hell. Why do you need a guru for this? Actually, you have mastered this art. In England when I went, I was amazed that they have sex they talk of sex and sex and sex, morning till evening. I don't understand. Like all important people talk, you see. That's how they go on talking about sex all the time. It's nothing but sex. It's so filthy. So filthy. They talk sex with the animals, sex with the children, I don't know what's happening to human beings. How can we that filthy? I wouldn't be surprised after some time we will have our bathrooms inside our drawing rooms. See, there's something like our privacy. Something like our drawing room where we meet people. How can you talk of these things and how can you discuss these things which are so private and so sacred? And that's how you lose them or you lose balance over them. This is one of the things that's happening to us because God has given us freedom. We think we can do what we like. But we have lost our wisdom. We have lost. I don't know why this industrial revolution, or I don't know whom to blame, but we have lost our wisdom to understand that these things are injurious. If it is not, logically we can see, why do we develop diseases? With free sex, all the sailors, under law, have to have in every port arrangements for getting injections for all kinds of complications that they have from sex life. Why is it you do not feel healthier with it? You lose all your health, all your charm is gone from your face, you be sunken and you look so horrid. It's a very good sign just now to see how nature reacts to it. So one has to be wise to understand that God has given us this thing to us, not to be insulted, but for us to lead a good, normal, good married life. And not to waste our energies in this kind of thing. But when people start thinking about it, then it's even worse. Then what happens? That this shifts from there, the attention onto the other side, and it goes to the yellow side, goes to the brain. When you start thinking about it, definite it is that you will become impotent. Definite, no doubt, at a very early stage, because it is a spontaneous thing. And when you start thinking about it, when your eye starts roving here and there, be sure your attention is gone to something which is so localized, which is so different, and which takes place only at a time when you are at a certain emotional spontaneity. It's very out of date to talk of these things to people, but if you are not careful about it, you have to find out the statistics of American young people, and you'll be amazed how many of them are suffering from horrible diseases. When I went to America, I found that 9 out of 10 young people who came to me were suffering from these horrible diseases, and most of them were impotent. It's a shocking thing. One has to face it as it is. And not to say, oh, I'm all right, I'm all right. This is not the way to look at things. We have to see to the statistics that are being placed before us and to know that there is something wrong about it. And with your wisdom, you have to reach certain conclusions about it. Now the second center, which I call as a Swadhisthana center, is also a very important center within us. The first center looks after all our excretion. It has got 4 petals. In the same way, in the pelvic plexus, which is manifested by that, which is a gross plexus within us, has also got 4 subplexuses. Now another one that we have is the Swadhisthana center, which is the second center. Second center has got 6 petals, and it supplies or it manifests in the gross, the aortic plexus, which also has got 6 subplexuses. Now this center is very important for us in the modern times. It's extremely important, and I think neglect of this center can create lots of problems. Now this center, if you see, is connected with the brain. And this center is responsible for our action, is the center of our creativity. When we think of the future, when we do any physical work, we use this center for that purpose. And one has to understand that these days we are developing lots of diseases because we have not understood what is the function of this center is. The foremost function of this center is to convert the fat cells for the use of the grey matter in the head. When we think too much, all the time about the future we plan, we go on planning into all details, what happens is that this poor center has to work very hard to produce new cells one after another for the use of your brain. Apart from that, it has to do many other functions. It has to look after your liver, it has to look after your spleen, it has to look after your pancreas, your kidneys, and also uterus among women. If you start thinking too much, all the time thinking, if you cannot stop your thinking, all the time your brain goes on thinking, a sort of a thinking process starts without your control, then poor this center has to work all that, your liver goes out. When your liver goes out, you must know that liver is one of the most important things within us because it nourishes our attention. Chitta. It nourishes our chitta. Now this attention, whenever it is spoiled because there are certain poisons within us. It can be physical poisons, it can be mental poisons, it can be emotional poisons, any kind of poisons there are, especially the physical and the emotional ones, they go to this liver which sorts it out. This is the function of this liver, is to sort it out. But when you are not giving it sufficient energy, you are using it for thinking, then poor this center is left behind. It has no nourishment, nobody looks after it, it becomes sluggish. When it becomes sluggish, all the heat accumulates in the liver. And such a person doesn't get any temperature till he gets cirrhosis and he dies. Now when thinking goes on too much, people get tired of thinking too much. So they think that let's have something that will take us away from thinking, which will give us a kick outside. So they take some sort of a drug or a drink or alcohol and all that. All the saints in the world have said that alcohol is very dangerous for life. The reason is it goes against our awareness. This is a fact. You know that after taking a drink, our awareness becomes blurred or excited. It's not normal. That is the reason they said no. In Sahaja Yoga, I do not say don't do this or don't do that. I only want you to come to Sahaja Yoga, get your realization, and then you will not ask for it. That's a much better way to do it. But why they asked you? For example, if you read Moses has clearly said that these are strong drinks. Very clearly, I don't know if people read that. And they should be avoided. I don't know if the Jews do that. They should not be taken. He's very clearly said it. Abraham said the same thing, that drinks are not good. Why all these prophets talk about it? Because they are all born in that green patch of ours. They are all placed in this green patch where we get our sustenance, which is 10. We have got 10 sustenances within us, like the gold has a sustenance that it does not tarnish. In the same way, human beings have got 10 sustenances. And these 10 sustenances are represented by great prophets. The principal is called as Adi Guru in Sanskrit language, the primordial master. He has incarnated on this earth as Abraham, Moses, as Lao Tse, as Confucius, as Socrates. Recently, he has been as Sainath of Shirdi, not the other fellow. And other great people have been like Nanaka, Janaka. All these great saints came on this earth to tell us how to keep in the center, how to keep our sustenance, how to be human beings. As carbon has got 4 valencies, we too have got 10 valencies. We have to maintain those 10 valencies within us. That's what they came to tell us. But you see, if anybody says now, don't drink, half of the hall will be empty. If you say you cannot have free sex, 5 people will walk off. That's the problem. Here nobody likes to know anything about it, but it's a dangerous thing to do. Whatever it is that you have to keep in the center. You have to be in the center. And how to keep in the center is not to go to extreme, be moderate. And moderate life is the best way. But even if you have not been, doesn't matter. Kundalini is at this point in such a force that whatever you might have done, you get your realization quite all right. So it's a different point. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, that why these people said so. Why they said, now Muhammad Sahib is another one who said don't drink. He's one of them. He's just the same. There's no difference. There's no difference between Moses and Muhammad Sahib. I can prove it to you on vibrations. You can yourself know through vibrations that they were the same people, said the same thing. There's no difference of any kind. It's only people are fighting, I don't know why. I just can't understand what is there to fight between these two. They were just the same, preached the same thing, and when Moses crossed the river and the bridge was made, that bridge is the bridge which is symbolic of the Kundalini that creates for you to cross this void within us. It's very symbolic. They have worked so hard to tell you what is sustenance, where we have to be in the center. Because if you are in the sustenance, as he said, that only a thread of this Kundalini rises. It is not one thread that should rise. Actually, I've seen in people, the whole of it goes up like that and stays there in many people. But the trouble is, it rises because there is no space to rise. We have finished off with the Swadhisthana and with the another chakra which is in the center, which is the color is wrong. All right. In the center, that is the called as Nabhi chakra, means a navel center. So when you have an obstruction in the center, naturally the Kundalini, though it rises with full force, all the threads fall down, and only one somehow or other goes up and opens up the Sahasrara, thinking that at least if I open up there, then the others, the grace will fall and maybe it will open out more. So this is the problem. That's why they said that you lead a life which is moderate and temperate. And this is what they preach to. Now let us see what happens when we go to extremes. In the center, as you have seen, is the sustenance within us. Now if you try to go beyond this side or that side, what happens? Let us see. Beyond this side is the subconscious. If you go, you enter into the collective subconscious. On the other side, if you move, that is the supraconscious. You enter into collective supraconscious. Now into this side are all the people. On the left side are the people who are still dissatisfied, very sly, sinister, horrible people who are dead, who do not want to take birth and who still want to torture people are still existing there. These are busybodies. They can possess you. They do possess. And on the right hand side there are people like Hitler who are very ambitious, who have died out of their ambitions and things like that, they still exist there. Either you enter into this side or either you enter into that side when you go to extremes and you just get possessed. It's a very dangerous area we are entering into. Recently I was seeing a BBC program and some doctors had discovered a very interesting thing. They said that cancer is triggered. Listen to this very carefully. Cancer is triggered by some proteins, they call it protein 58, protein 56 or something like that. When these proteins attack us from some unknown areas within us, which are built within us since our creation. What are these areas? I mean, this I have been telling for so many years, is the left side and the right side, the two extremes. Now what do we do when we go to the right side? Right side is the area where you think too much, where you project yourself in the future. Now like that you go on, then you start becoming a person who is more interested in the future than in the present. The center is the present. Now you start projecting your mind into that. When you start projecting your mind too much into that, you start moving into that side. With that, anybody who is an austere person, they think that if you are a very austere person, you lead a life of celibacy and all these nonsensical things, you see. All this is absolutely nonsensical. If you lead a life of celibacy, it's not going to help you at all. On the contrary, such a person becomes an extremely dry personality and ultimately dies of heart attack. And such a person is so hard-headed, so hot-tempered, that you must take a barge pole before you meet such a person. They are so cursing type, so unaware of other people's health or anything, that they can curse anyone. And this is their job, is to curse this one and curse that one and curse that one. They're extremely dry people. They might take to social work in the name of God. Oh, they'll work like hell for the poor. They're thinking they're saving the poor and doing this and that. And while if you see them any other time, you'll be sure that such a person is absolutely burning with fire. They have a horrible liver, very hot temper. There's no sweetness about them. There's no magnetism about them. All the people run away from them. They're like Boy Scouts, you see, sitting on everybody's head. Do this, do that, you haven't done this, what are you doing? They will not sleep themselves and not allow anybody to sleep. They think that everybody is supposed to work under their thumb. And these are the people who are very ego-oriented, as shown there, are the people who move on to the right-hand side. Any austere ideas about religion can take you to this side. And this austerity is very dangerous for human beings because it cuts you off from the whole. Such a person may be entrapped or possessed by some sort of a personality on the right-hand side. I know of a lady who is very well known in India and who's got a big prize and this and that for her social work. I happened to see her first time on an aeroplane when she had no prizes and all that. She came with some sort of an odd stuff with her and she wanted to sit in the front seat. So the air hostess said, I'm sorry, this is reserved for some children who are sick and they have to go by this plane and we can't give you this. And the mother is there. She started fighting with the mother. How many sick have you cured? What do you think of yourself? And this and that. And she was just jumping from here to there and there to there and there to there. And she wouldn't allow the plane to leave. And for half an hour she was fighting to sit down there. And the amount of abuses she used for the air hostess, I was amazed. And she's supposed to be a woman who should be given a peace prize or something like that. I don't know, there was no peace on her face, neither around her, and everybody was so disturbed with the way she was on about it. It was really shocking to see this personality who was so hot-tempered and so meticulous about things. And she was arguing with her, this was my seat, and this was this, and this was that. Thank God, then they got her out, and the plane left the place. But I'm telling you, such people can be so frantically hot-tempered and can be so unaware of your presence there that you have to be very, very careful with them. Such people may look to be very, very successful in life, you see. And when they walk, they have a upper lip and all sorts of things, you see. But it takes no time for them to realize that it's all tomfoolery going on. This kind of ego orientation can lead you to nothing but stupidity. A person can be extremely stupid and he doesn't know how stupid he has been. Because he says, what's wrong? You see, a gentleman came to see us and he had a wife. She was only 16 years of age and the fellow was 80 years of age, you see. Naturally, I felt he must be the grandfather, you see. So I said, is she your grandmother, granddaughter? So my husband pinched me. He said, that's his wife. I said, really? I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know she was a... What's wrong? I can have a wife who is 2-year-old. What's wrong in it? I said, nothing wrong. Only thing people will laugh at you. That's all. All sorts of stupid things people do in this world. And they think, what's wrong? This is the best way to get along with your stupidity. Till they discover that you are the greatest stupid person going wrong. Now this stupidity comes from this ego going up and surrounding your brain completely. You cannot see anything else. You just see yourself. My room, my house, my. You cannot see that there are others, that you owe some sort of a relationship to others, that you have to be kind to them, that you have to share things with them. You all the time think about yourself. And such people get possessed by supraconscious style. What happens in spirituality with such people? They start feeling their body is lying here and they go up and sit on a tree. They think it is realization or enlightenment. Just imagine. This is nothing but a supraconscious spirit has entered and taken the body away and put it there. I told you 3 Americans coming from America and they were known to be very big scientists. They came to see me and they said, Mother, you have to teach us one thing. I said, what? We want to fly. I said, fly? You are already flying. What do you want to fly? They said, no, but we want to fly with ESP. I said, you should not do that. Because if you do that, then you are enslaved by these spirits. And you do want to do that, to be enslaved by these spirits? Yes, whatever it is. Enslavement or anything, we want to have this and we want to get this by which we fly. I said, why? They said, because Russia is doing it. And Russians are doing experiments with ESP, so we should also do. I said, if they are going to hell, are you also going to go to hell? They said, yes. What's wrong? I said, nothing wrong. Go with 2 running jumps. You can go very fast there. But as far as I am concerned, I am not for it. I am not going to doom your life forever. So then they asked me, I asked him, who has sent you to me? They said, one Patanjali. You see, there is a fellow called Patanjali who is a journalist. I said, this Patanjali has sent you? Yes, he has sent us to you. He was the man who used to leave his body and run all over the places. He was a journalist, you see, so he used to get the news before anybody knew. And he used to run out of his house, and the wife was so surprised that one day he brought some sand. And he said, yesterday, you know where I was? I was on the Juhu beach. From there I brought the sand for you. She got such a fright, and he used to shake before any photograph of God or Christ or anyone. He used to shake like that. So she brought to me, she said, this fellow is shaking. I don't know what's happening. He's rattling. Is it Parkinson's thing? I don't know what's happening. And here in the night he disappears. I lock up everything. Still he disappears. I don't know what to do. And it's very shocking. He said, sometimes I go and sit on a tree. I said, really? So I told him that you are possessed. He said, Mother, please take away. I don't want this nonsense. You don't know where I will end up. Tomorrow I'll be anywhere hanging in the air. I don't want to do that. And maybe that my body may not come back. And this is what people are doing now, is to take out the spirits. When they take out the spirit from a person, you see, they keep it with them. Like the children, small children die in their sleep. If my mother is here and she has a child in America, she says, I want to talk to my child through a medium. It's a very dangerous thing. Never play with these mediums, very dangerous. And such a mother I know in Switzerland, she did that to a child, and the child died in America, in her sleep, because the distance is such that where there is day, there is night. And she was doing this in the daytime, and the child was sleeping. And she talked to the child, she heard his voice, everything she did, and the child died. Never go near these people who deal with spirits, is said by all the great people of the world. But we are not bothered. You see what's wrong? We go to spirits, to ESPs, to our elders who are dead, to our brothers and sisters. Why bother them? Now they are dead. Let them be free, as it is you tortured their lives when they lived on this earth. Now why don't you leave them free? Let them go and take their births. But we are not satisfied. We say, no, we must talk to them. We have planchets, we hold hands, call spirits and do it. But do you know what happens with them? First of all, no realization. Very difficult for such people. Even if you get realization and all that, you have lots of problems. I have seen people go mad with it. Because these spirits are dirty things. Supposing you have called me, I am an Indian. So now you are exposed to India. You must know you are exposed to India. And you have no control over the people who are coming down from these areas, and you are just entered. They possess you. They possess you, your family, everything. And it's a fact that these horrible things that act or that call or that try to show that they are helping you are the people who are just taking money from you. But they are going to be condemned much worse than anyone. The people who are mediums, who are clairvoyant, they use these things, and all this we'll call these gurus from Tibet. There's nothing like that. Anybody who is a realized soul will never do that. Any realized soul will never come into anybody. No guru can come into anybody. Take it from me, because they know the value of freedom. They will never do it. It's a very mean thing to do. To them who are dead and to yourself who is living and is such a beautiful thing created by God. You get possessed by all these nonsensical things, black magic and this tilasmat. And I don't know how you educated people can take to it. Perhaps you are very naive. I would say that you are naive, because in India we know this thing. We know all this. We know all this materialization and all business. We know very well. Of course, I mean, the young people do not know now, because I am an ancient person. We all knew about it. We call it Bhanumati, we call it Preta Vidya, Smashana Vidya, Bhuta Vidya, and there are books and books about it, what these things are done. The black magic and voodoo and all sorts of things that you call it. But you have no knowledge about it. Now, for example, we put all our dead bodies in the church. This is very dangerous. I don't know. Who told? Where is it written in the Bible? I don't understand. Why should you put your dead bodies in the church? All right, if you want to have a church for the dead body, let them be alone with the dead bodies. You are living people. Why do you sit on top of dead bodies there and have all these devils coming on you and sitting on your heads? Only a realized soul is the person who should be buried in a church. Only a realized soul. In India is a custom that all people are burnt except for a realized soul. Because they never try to possess anyone. They never try to disturb. On the contrary, they help in so many ways. They are not the people who will just come to disturb your life or to give you some encouragement. Sometimes you feel very happy also with that, because you feel that your responsibility is taken over. They have taken your responsibility and you feel quite relieved. In the beginning you feel quite nice. It's a good sensation. Oh, I feel peace within me. Because somebody else has come into your house and he is going to use all your house and you will be left behind. And then you become a recluse. Such people will find they'll put the cloth in the mouth like this, look like that, and they're very much frightened and afraid. Of course, before me they shake like this. All sorts of things happen. Now there's another trend about it. If you say that these are possessed people and this and that, so the left side ones are even worse. Left side ones are the people who go into the spirit business very much, but there are two types of spirit business. One can give supraconscious and one can give even subconscious. And subconscious is very easily available because they are busybodies, all these spirits on the subconscious area. They are busybodies and very mean and sly and dirty people. For example, a woman dies young without marriage. She would like to trouble a married woman. She's jealous. And that's why there are certain rules and regulations in our life one should understand, by which you should avoid all this nonsense. Take your psychology itself. Psychologists do not know what they are facing. They treat mad people. I told you about Freud. He was half-baked because he only knew about this desire, power of desire, which he called conditioning and all that. But he did not know there was another one, which is our ego. So he said, you take out all your conditioning. You don't have any conditioning whatsoever. So where do you go? You land up in what's wrong? Ego-oriented. Then you form another cult by saying, we must destroy our cult. You go on saying to yourself, oh, you are good for nothing, you are useless all the time. Kill your ego. So you become a recluse. These two things happen with the extremes of this movement, of this center. Through this center, you either go to the left or to the right. Now, what is the real thing? This is the center of creativity. Creativity and the knowledge of the divine. Knowledge of the divine is when you get your realization, you get these cool vibrations of the Holy Ghost. And you have to know how to raise the Kundalini of others, and you have to know how to correct yourself. You have to know how to know all these centers, and also you have to find out all the absolute questions you have got within your mind. This has to happen to you. This realization has to happen because this is in your own right you are having. Now you are a human being and you have to become a superhuman being. I am not doing anything about it. As I say, I am just cashing your bank accounts. But if bank accounts are so much on the left or the right, it's rather difficult. You have to give lots of grace marks and sort of overdrafts are there. So one has to understand that better be in the center. Not to go to these things. Why? Why? For what? What are you going to gain out of these things? Are you going to go to your spirit? Are you going to become yourself? Why? Just for a little gain here and a little gain there. Why are you going to these horrid people? They will take you to such a horrible extreme that maybe you may not be able to return. In London, I was surprised. There was a doctor whom I knew by relationship, and he came to see me and he said, I've lost all my jobs, everything, because I'm very depressed. I can't work. I don't know what happens to me. I'm extremely depressed. I've lost zest to work. I do not feel anything. I'm just gone. I'm very depressed. And any time I try to work, I get again depressed. I'm very tired. I asked him, did he go to any one of these tantrikas and these type of places? He said, never. But my grandfather was a tantric. He used to do this black magic business. And now see, the grandson is suffering because of that. Later on, he was cured. We have one Australian here who was a Russian doctor. His grandmother had a habit of taking the child to the cemetery in the early ages of his life. He remembers that very well. And after some time, he became so depressed, he lost his job. He couldn't work, he used to get a headache and all sorts of things used to happen. And cramps used to come in his hands. When he came to me, he got cured, but it took some time because in childhood, all the impressions of the spirits was there. So one has to understand how to keep dead away from. You have to be in the present and not in the dead. Whosoever is dead is finished. Have you ever noticed a monkey, if the child of a monkey dies, before the death, the monkey will be shouting and screaming and doing all kinds of things. As soon as the thing dies, it leaves. It's not bothered. You can see with dogs and so many things. It's not bothered about it. It knows it's gone. That's why it is said that when somebody is dead, think of God and you sing songs and things like that and do not indulge into it too much. But we have forgotten all those things, and the way we do about dead things sometimes, it is so far that actually most of us live, then when doing all this, we live in the pasthood. We live in the past, and such people also see some ghosts and things. And some of them who were like this have seen my past and have been shaking before. They all shake before me, just like this, they go on shaking. They cannot sit straight. They go on shaking like this, they go on shaking like this. All the time their body shaking, they have no control over their body. So one has to understand that these things are absolutely dangerous for human beings. We are human beings. We are not dead bodies. We are not there. But the worst thing is that those who indulge into these things are caught up by the proteins which doctors have said are nothing but these dead spirits. They are saying proteins because they don't understand. These are the dead spirits. Cancer is caused only by the attack of the dead spirits. I have not come across a single case whom I have treated. I have treated many who has not got the affectation of the spirit. Now, in realization, when you get your realization, you catch up on this or this. These are the two swadhisthana which remark. I hope you put your hands like this. You will get your realization as well when I drop it, just like this. And we both the feet straight on the ground. Like this.
Excuse me, could you please turn up the topic? This step is quite low.
What's
I don't
it?
know if other people find it quite clear.
Could we turn up the volume for somebody at the back?
I'm sorry for that. I've been talking about it.
Well, lift and higher.
It's better now? Sorry for that. You should have told me earlier. You were so silent, I didn't know. Now is it all right? Now, I was telling you that when you put your hands like this, first the cool breeze starts blowing. Alright? But when you have got your realization, you put your hand on somebody to test it, you catch on this one, that means it is unauthorized. Unauthorized working of the divine. Can be subconscious areas, can be supraconscious, can be psychologist or anyone who catch on this. When you work on your mind, the mind is the one that is the superego there, the blue one is the mind. And when you have somehow or other gone to some person or have had something to do with magic yourself, then you catch on this. It's left swadhisthana because. And when you catch on this, you have to say that you believe in the divine working, in the pure working of the divine. And that's called as Nirmala Vidya. Nirmala means pure. The pure knowledge of the technique, how to raise your kundalini. When you say that, this gets all right and the spirit sleep. There are many people who have come to me who are now they say, how by kundalini you cure back pain? What do you do about it? Nothing. I just give them kundalini awakening. Then when the kundalini awakens, when she goes to this center, which is the second center within us, the enlightenment takes place, the deity there of creativity gets awakened. And with the light, this darkness within you just disappears. Just goes away. Epilepsy can be cured. If somebody is suffering from epilepsy, there's a very simple method of curing that person. Extremely simple. When you come next, I will tell you how to get such a person cured. It's very simple. Sahaja Yoga is a spontaneous living method by which you can cure people as a byproduct of Kundalini awakening. It's not that I'm here as a healer and I'm going about give me $10 for healing. It's not that. It's just when Kundalini gets awakened, you get cured. You get a good health. Because the Kundalini passes through this center which is responsible for your physical side. If your physical side is alright, then your health is alright. But there are other things with you. Is emotional side, there is also you have got your mental side, and also you have got above all is the spiritual. All these things are to be enlightened through Kundalini awakening. The first thing that happens to you, that your health improves. No doubt. All kinds of things like paralysis, cancer, diabetes. Diabetes is curable by Sahaja. This I must explain to you how diabetes is cured. Diabetes is caused by people who think too much again. Who think too much, so the center has to work very hard and it cannot give sufficient attention to the pancreas which is on the left hand side. Because of that, the left hand side becomes frozen and the right hand side is working very hard. Now how do you cure your diabetes? Only way is if you have a realized soul, you give vibrations to the pancreas and give a balance to a person. There's a way of balancing. If you can balance a thing, people get rid of their diabetes. Arthritis also can be cured. But now I must tell you about the spleen, which is a very important thing in us, and I think every one of you must understand it in full way. Spleen, we do not know how important it is within us. It is the speedometer. It looks after the speed we have. The way we are speeding these days, we move really telescopically. We talk telescopically. We walk telescopically.
Even if we are very speedy people. And this speediness comes to us when our spleen has gone crazy. How does the spleen go crazy? It's very simple. Now spleen is there to create new blood corpuscles, red blood corpuscles, to meet all the emergencies you go through. For example, you are eating your food and it's an emergency, you need more RBCs, red blood corpuscles, so this spleen starts emitting more red blood corpuscles. But at the same time, you have the 9 o'clock news and you hear something horrible, another emergency is created. Then suddenly you eat your food and run. Third emergency is created. Poor spleen gets absolutely crazy. It does not know when to produce what blood cells. It doesn't know what to do with you because suddenly you have 3-4 things together. You'll be having your breakfast, putting one foot on the car, you're having your breakfast, talking to somebody that side, hear somebody just saying, get in, and all is going on simultaneously. Poor this spleen doesn't know which way to move. So it becomes crazy. And then the attack comes somehow. And blood cancer is set. Blood cancer is the result of speediness. So one has to be very careful that our spleen must be alright. I am warning you as a mother. I know these problems, we have pure blood cancer, but it's a horrible disease and once it gets over, within 1 week they say it finishes. Now we have cured many patients of blood cancer which were declared to be dead after 8 days. You see, that's all, they give a certificate after 8 days or after 1 month. That's the certificate you get in the hospital, you will die. But in Sahaja, when they try to cure them, they have been cured. And when they went to the doctors, they said, I know it was very remarkable, but we can't believe it was surgery. Even if a doctor is cured, they say, this doctor has gone mad. He's talking like this. How can he? Here they have certified the person is going to die within 8 days. And there he's cured and going strong after 2 years also. They'll say there must be something. They do not want to accept because this challenges their knowledge. But I'm not here to take away their profession. They can have lots of patients. I'm not here to cure people. It's just the seekers who come to me for realization are blessed by divine grace and they get braved, they get cured because they are seekers. They are the men of God. And they have to become the prophets. When they become the prophets, in this era, they have to convert others in the same way and they will make them prophets. It's said by William Blake about 100 years back. He has described all these things in his book, Milton You'll Be Surprised. He has gone to such a limit of prophecy that he was such a seer that he has even described where I lived, Surrey Hills, the first beacons will be lit in Surrey Hills, and also he has said where our ashram is going to be in the ruins because we had no money, so they purchased a ruined place. In the ruins, the foundations will be laid in Lambeth Vale, and there it is. Our ashram is. It has come to Lambeth Vale, and here is her loom vibrates the sinew of Yah. And Lambeth Vale, and he says, this is going to become the Jerusalem. Just imagine, a person 100 years back could see, he was such a seer, and he has written all about it. But human beings are not sensitive to things. I went to see his exhibition, he was a great artist. I was amazed, they were just seeing how he has shown nude women in the head. Just imagine. We went there to see this. I mean, this is like we went to see a flower show and there you are picking up all the filth and dirt. Is this the way to look at beautiful things? See for beauty and think of beauty. And then you are beauty. Why should you desire these ugly things in life? Why should you not desire something that's so beautiful and that is your spirit? This is the second center I have told you. This is the one which limits our religion in the sense of a sustenance, not the religion the way you understand. Because all these religions are just like flowers on one living tree, have been plucked by people, and they say, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And they have made these flowers very ugly, and such flowers are decaying. The whole attention should be on becoming the spirit. If it is not, the rest of it is not God's work. God's work is just to awaken your Kundalini. It's a living work. Because if He is the living God, He has to do the living. His work is to transform a little flower into food which you cannot. In the same way, you cannot pulsate the Kundalini, but it will pulsate when you come to Sahaja Yoga. You will see with your naked eyes the pulsation rising over here, and you can see your baptism taking place. It is written by so many people, and they have said, like Kabir Das has clearly said, we had a great poet called Kabir Das who has described Sahaja Yoga about 300-400 years back. And we had Adi Shankaracharya who has very clearly said all these things that I am telling you. But this was a knowledge limited to few people. Even Krishna talked to one Arjuna. Christ talked to some multitudes and they crucified him. Because they couldn't understand what he was talking, what was there to crucify. They did not recognize. Moses, how many people recognized him? Abraham, how many people recognized him? They were never recognized, never understood that was the law. And this is what one has to understand. That the time, please sit down, please sit down. The time has come now to recognize, to understand, to recognize yourself that you are the spirit, not this body, not this mind, not this ego, but you are the spirit and not the gurus, so called. The one who does not give you the spiritual realization is not you. It's not you. You must understand, this is the thing of Guru, the primordial master, who tells you to be in the center, who tells you all the things that are to be done in the name of religion. In the name of religion, everyone has said the same thing. Now I don't say anything like that because I know how to handle the situation. We had a doctor in London who was an alcoholic who came to me. He got his realization and next day he gave up. He just didn't want to have it. He said, no, I'm enjoying myself, I'm not bored, I don't even know about it. But we went to Germany and he said that after 2-3 months, he said, I used to like one wine, let me try how it is. So when he had that one, when he had it, he felt like vomiting. Absolutely, he said it was smelling like a corn put in the water. He never smelled that way before. And he just felt like vomiting. He was very nauseating and he just gave it up. What happens really is that when you get your awakening, your religion is enlightened within you. Then I don't have to tell you, don't steal, don't talk daily, don't do this. Like my own daughter has a granddaughter. I mean, I have a granddaughter who is a realized soul, 2 children. 2 granddaughters are realized souls. And one of them came later, but she said, grandmother, did you have to read this stupid thing called as moral science? I said, no, why? It's foolish, isn't it? They tell us don't not tell lies, don't steal. Are we servants? Why should we tell lies? Why should they tell us all these things? I don't like it. So the little one said, oh, there are stupid people. How can they say like this? Why should we do it? There's no temptation. We don't have to say there's no temptation. You are awake. You are dharmaizing. You're sustainers. Like we are human beings. If you have to pass through a dirty lane, then we cannot. We feel horrible. We close our noses. We feel the smell of the dirt and the filth. But you take a horse, he already walks very nicely. He's not bothered. He doesn't make the smell. In the same way, your awareness gets inclined. Then, whatever is sinful, you don't like it. You just don't like it. Whatever takes you away from spirit, you don't like it. Because you lose your vibrations. Lose your vibration. Now, another center is also very important, which is for our well-being, called as Navi Chakra, about which I'll tell you next time, because already I have told you quite elaborately. Moreover, I would like to have questions from you today also. But like last time, don't go on asking questions and the same person asking. One person should ask only one question and a sensible question. Because you are seekers, don't waste your time and don't waste time of others. Thank you very much.
Do you feel that reincarnation is necessary in another earthly body until realization is gained?
Is reincarnation necessary until realization is attained?
That is again you are thinking about the past. You see, Why to worry? You have reincarnated many times. No doubt about it. But now this is the point. At this point, where are you? There's no need to have reincarnations. Who is going to count from amoeba to this stage how many times reincarnated, whatever knows? Okay. At this time you have to have your spirit enlightened. Alright? Forget about the past. Just forget it. And then we start thinking, especially in India, they'll ask me, was I a king? Was I this? Was I that? I said, I'm not bothered about the history. There was a boy, very scholarly. He came and asked me, Mother, was I Napoleon last life? I said, why? He said, even if I was, don't tell me, otherwise I'll jump in the sea. I said, no, why? Well, what makes you think that? He said, because I'm very ego-oriented, my ego is colossal, and another point is I'm very good at drawings. So I think these two combinations are only possible in Napoleon. I said, no, you are not Napoleon, don't you worry. He said, otherwise I'll jump in the sea and take another incarnation. So don't worry about these things, alright? It can be quite deviating. There is a big show going on everywhere. What was my last life? Somebody said you were in Egypt. So what does it matter? Whether you are in Egypt or Timbuktu, what does it matter? You see, this is a big story going on. People pay money. Now tell me what is... And they are telling also very nicely about these things. See? You must ask the person, what was you last time? Must have been a donkey. Otherwise, why are you taking money for this?
Think of Sir Arthur Avalon's book, The Serpent's Power. Have you read it?
Have you read Sir Arthur
Ah.
Avalon's The Serpent's Power?
I've read it, Baba. I don't know what to say. I don't know how he wrote. I mean, there is no honesty about it, really, I tell you. There are so many books, I've seen such a big books written. I was surprised how could he write such books without knowing anything. Anything whatsoever. He's so confused, contradictory, all that. But how could I always had a great admiration for Western people that they were honest. Whether they did wrong or they were thieves or anything, they were honest about it. But this fellow, I don't know where did he get such courage to write about Kundalini without knowing a word about it. Horrible. Absolute. All these books, so many, like this Gopi Krishna's book I read, is like a person coming from a village and putting his hands into the plug and saying that I got a shock. He doesn't know anything. They're so naive, not only naive, but in his case, I think he's not entitled. He is not suitable. You have to be a very holy person to do that. You have to be compassionate. You have to be love. You have to be pure. It's all money-making propositions, I tell you. Write about Kundalini because it is unknown. It's just money-making propositions. Everything is a money-making proposition these days. In the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of Kundalini, in the name of all that is holy, because there is no authority that will catch you. And poor people who are seekers, who are true seekers, who are innocent, who are simple, are caught by that. If you have read too many books, I have a problem with you. I must tell you. First of all, you have to throw all these books in the sea. Because all the books are in your head and you are lost. Yourself is lost. I really tell you, it's very true. This one is standing there with the same thing. He gave me such a bad time for some time. And he was shaking and he had all sorts of things happening to him when he first came to me. And he had read all the books from A to Z, from this side to this side, and this side to this side. There's no book which he left. I said, now at least leave one book for me to read.
Is there a difference between the awakening and the realization?
There is a difference between awakening and realization. It's true. It awakens, it passes, you can see it with your naked. Many people, when there is obstruction, you can see it. It passes through various chakras, you can see it. In some people it is so slow moving. Otherwise it takes just a split of a second. But if there is obstruction, you can see it. And the awakening has taken place. But the breaking of the sahasrara is the realization where you get cool breeze in the hand. If you don't get cool breeze in the hand, at least you must get cool breeze here, minimum. Sometimes this center is very bad in many people. Then you don't feel it in the hand, but you must feel it here. But still, it's just the beginning, just determination. Like Christ has said, that some seeds fell on here and some seeds fell there. happens like that. So awakening is not the end of it, it's just the beginning. It has started. And then realization is established. First, when the Kundalini goes over this chakra, you get a state called thoughtless awareness, where there is no thought in the mind. It's very easy to get. This is the center of Christ. It goes above that. When it passes through all the centers of Moses and Abraham and all that, it passes through the center of Christ, and it passes through this Brahman and this ultimate moon. When you get your baptism, then you feel the cool breeze in the hand. But it may be sucked back into the places where there's a problem. Because with me I see people get it just like that. It flows like a great river in flat. It happens. But then sometimes it comes back. But once it is awakened, it is awakened. We have to learn how to establish it. It's a very good question, we have to do. Yes?
There's one school of thought regarding enlightenment that advocates, or doesn't advocate, it says that enlightenment can be a static process. This is what you've described as a dynamic process.
School of thought describes enlightenment as a static process. What you describe is a dynamic process.
Yes, it is not static. How can that be? It's a living process. You see, you become collectively conscious. You become that. You see, you become really dynamic. Because your awareness has a new dimension. You become collectively conscious. You start feeling another personality. You start feeling yourself. You start getting the power how to raise the Kundalini. You don't know how many powers you get. It's like this, that you have, say, a big, huge chest. Now, if I say there is music here, song here, drama here, you say, well, we can't see anything. You bring a television and put it to the mains. You see the mirror. That's what you are. You are really dynamically. Dynamic is not the word, there's no word to describe how you are made. It's so beautifully done. Once you are put to the mains, all your power starts flowing. There's no end to it. It's so miraculous, so wonderful. I wish you could see one of my photographs that they have taken, which you will not be able to explain. I think next time I'll bring it along. You become so dynamic. A person, if you have seen my book, Advent, is a person, a very ordinary person. He was a gardener. He got his realization. And he had never handled a camera, or he did not know how to handle a camera. He once took a camera and took my photograph. And that is such a wonderful photograph he has taken. And since then he discovered he can take photographs very well, he can paint very well, he can sing very well, and you become really so dynamic and inexhaustible. Producing. But still, human beings, as they get caught up with the ego, caught up with the super ego, so you must know how to get rid of it. And I must say, Mohammed Sahib is the one who has told us lots of things, lots of secrets, how to get rid of these things. They are all have added to the knowledge of Sahaja Yoga to such an extent that really we should have gratitude for all of them.
What is the difference between the mind or consciousness and the spirit? And is it the spirit or the consciousness which is enlightened?
You see, this subject I'll be discussing later on at length, alright? But the spirit is the one that resides in the heart, which is the reflection of God Almighty. By knowing the spirit, only you become collectively conscious, and that's why you know the universal being, which is God. This is in simple understanding. And the other is mind, is that black thing you see there. It's the mind, which is the conditioned stuff called as super ego. And the intellect is the one that is on this side, is the ego, Mr. Ego. And so it's all limited stuff within ourselves. So wisdom is spirit, and wisdom is in the center of it. That's a very different thing. So all these things I will be explaining later on when I will be discussing all these points. Alright?
Could you just repeat what you were saying before about the thumb?
Yeah.
Couldn't hear it properly.
You see, these fingers, as you see there, you have seen them clearly, are suggestive of the centers that are within us. Now, this finger, if you see the thumb, has got the same color as that. So when you find a burning on your fingers, on the thumbs, or you find numbness is even bad, because numbness is a suggestion of death, or say towards death, or thinking of death, all these things. Like I've seen people from Sweden, young people, they all have none figures. When I fed them, I said, what are you doing? Young people. They said, we are planning how to commit suicide. This is the result of their affluence. Just look at that. Young people from 17 to 21 are just planning how to commit suicide. And there's a competition between the Swiss and the Swedish. So, and these days, Swiss are higher. Now, this thumb is responsible for this set. If you have a problem in your liver, it will be this, plus this. Now, this is it. You can see that. Now, I think you have got the book. Please buy the book from these people, which is, of course, is at a very nominal price, whatever they have taken for printing, and go through it and see for yourself what it is. All right?
How come, after so many prophets, after so many years of history, and also civilization's prehistory, that they wrote in such prose and such poetry that the truth is so obscure that it's hard to understand, it hasn't really come through in force?
Well, after so many prophets that have been writing so much, why is it that it's all been so hidden and the truth has been very difficult to see?
You see, it is very difficult. Human beings are really, I don't know what to call them, because they never understand, what Christ, they didn't allow him to live for 4 years. I mean, what to do? Abraham, Moses, what they did to them. All the prophets, what you did to them. We have so many good gurus in India, and in Rangoon I know one, very good one, and also in England I know one, but they are hiding. They don't want to fix you. I've told them, I asked one of them to go to America with big coaxing, everything. I paid his money. I said, please go and work because I cannot go to America. Within 3 days he ran away from New York and came back and said, Mother, I can't do this. They do not want their spirit. They want other things. They want money, they want this, they want that. You see, they have never understood before, they will never recognize before. That's why Christ has said one thing, that I will forgive you anything that you have done against me, but against the Holy Ghost, nothing will be forgiven. Because you will know what is the Holy Ghost is. Recognition is the most difficult thing for the ego. You see, there was a lady today, she said, why should you do it? I said, I'll be very happy if you can do it. Imagine, I'm a happily married woman, I've got my children and grandchildren. If somebody could do it, I'll be very happy. Why don't you do it? Why do you feel your ego challenged? You better do it. I don't know anything. Many things I don't know. Like, I can drive, I cannot do many things, but I don't feel bad about it. Now I know this job. If I'm doing it free, what's the harm? Now, if you can do it, I'll be very happy to retire. She said, I don't know. Then I said, let me do it. They feel bad, that I have to do it. But you can do it yourself, but first of all, get enlightened. If the mother knows how to cook, let her cook. It's a terrible job. Every night you sleep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, get up about 4 o'clock, work like a, I don't know what. And in the end, you find people challenging you, why should you do it? Oh, there are all kinds of people in England. Somebody asked me, why don't you remove the poverty of India? Just imagine. I said, no, I'm not here to remove poverty or anything. I'm here to give self-realization. I said, but I'm sorry, why do you ask such a question to me? Because who is responsible for our poverty in India? Who is? I shouldn't say that. I'm sitting here in England on your soil. Who is responsible for the poverty of our India? Such a question you are asking me, you please answer. 300 years they ruled us. And now he is teaching me that I should remove the poverty of India. Just think of it. The second question comes up. Great learned man, you see. He says that, what about your population problem? Why don't you solve it? I said, I'm sorry, you are also responsible for that. He said, how? How do we increase your population? I said, you do. He said, how? I said, very simple. In this country of yours, this great country of yours, every week 2 children are killed by the parents. Legitimate children are killed by the parents. Now, which fool would like to take part in this country of yours? We have to get the laws because you don't have good parents, good mothers. Mothers are becoming liberated, husbands are becoming abandoned. Now, who would like to take birth and you are having minus growth. So who should bear the growth? Because last judgment has started, people are taking their birth. We have to bear the load in India and you are blaming us for overpopulation. What should they do? It's a fact. I think it's a fact. If you don't have good families, if you don't have love, don't have good homes, why should children be born to you? Will you be born to a family where the father is a drunkard and mother is, what do you call it, liberated? Why should such people produce children? I don't understand. They don't. In Germany, they pay so much for a woman to produce a child, but they don't want to produce. They are funny ideas. And in India, if a woman doesn't get a child, she go to all the holy places, to all the saints, and she do everything to get a child. See the difference. So who is responsible for our overpopulation? You please tell me. So, prophets are not responsible, the human beings. They know discipline. To me also, I don't know how many of you are really going to settle down. But I'll see to it. I'm quite sure. I've learned lots of things in my last class and I'm quite an expert. Yes?
Excuse me, can you tell me there's an alignment to the fact that a child at home might be 18 months old and come from a very good home, a nice background, spiritually advanced and in good, set up and where there's good food and the right things and not drinking drugs and so forth. Why this child is in the second year of life and then riddled with cancer of the kidney? How does that happen? When this child has had no, what she's saying, into the world of being upset or emotional disturbance or drinking or smoking or anything?
Why does a child who's, what she describes as a good home with all the balance, downtime and so on, why does that child 2 years of age die of cancer?
No, I must see the child. I'll be able to tell you, I'm sure. If I see the child, I'll see. Because it's a very, hypothetical case you are giving me. I would like to see the child. Not I'm saying you get cancer because you lead a bad life. Not at all. Sometimes very good people get it. They get affected by it. Say there's a mother who's very strict. Don't do this, don't do that. Why don't you get up early in the morning? This, that. All the time speaks of the child. The child doesn't know what to do. It's disciplining, see. And then somebody comes in the house and goes, why did you say like that? Why did you spill the thing? Why this carpet is more important than the child? The sofa set is more important than the child. Then the child gets upset. It's very important. The child is not given proper attention, neither proper dignity. He's treated just like somebody who's a nuisance. Then can the child, such a child can't blood cancer. If the mother is extremely strict, and some children are slow, so let them be slow. Some children get up early in the morning, some get up a little late. Why make them such good citizens from their child? As it is, you are very great good citizens. Let the children play. Let them enjoy themselves, and you enjoy them. Let them live like flowers. We don't. We try to discipline them. And this disciplining is responsible for the teenage problem in all these countries.
This is detected at the age of 4 months, where the child has really just been lying in a crib with no drama around it at all.
Hello, they say, my child, I know you are upset about it, but if I see the case, if I had seen the case, then I would have answered all your questions. It's very hypothetical, I'm saying. It could be something like that. People can detect, they cannot cure. There are cases like that, many cases. There are some great souls are born on this earth, they take the load of others and die. Also it's possible. There can be anything. If I had seen the child, I would have told her. But just now, the patient is not before me, so hypothetical, you understand that, you see. But if I had seen the child, I would have told you. You'll be amazed now, recently somebody showed me a photograph of child, he's a born realized. He's such a mature child. And his mother is taking a divorce. And the father is an alcoholic. What will this poor child do? Just think of it. He is a born realized child. Or he may take the load of his parents and may something happen to him. He may. It happens to many children I've seen. They take the load of their parents. Especially if the parents are quarreling all the time. The children take the load. That's why they go mad. It happens. You see, anything can happen to them. There are viruses in the thing. Then virus is another kind of a possession. There are many things. You cannot blame God for that. I know your worry is all right, but you do not know who was in the house, how it happened. You cannot say. It can be some sort of a thing, all right? If you tell me the whole case, privately I will tell you what was the case, all right?
How does the Kundalini become awake?
How does Kundalini become awakened?
That's it. That's what I'm going to do. That's a $1 million question. I'm never saying that because of your wrongdoings or anything that these things happen. Not. It can be any reason, but some of the reasons are these. You see, a person can die of starvation because of the social problem. Somebody can die of something. There can be something. You put the child in the say sun, he can get a sunstroke. If you put him in the cold, he may die. Or anything can happen. Not that you all have to die. Also, that's also definite. But the diseases, it's another way of logic. Is the why you get certain diseases is not in terms with this. There are other reasons also. But mostly these are the reasons. See, this is a logical way of looking at things. Not that you are bad people, not at all. On the contrary, you are people whom God loves very much. But must know if you make a mistake, say if you even put hot water on your hand, it will burn. It has a capacity to burn, it will burn your hand. In the same way, if you make some mistakes unknowingly because of your naive understanding of a subject, it will happen. It happens like that, many a times.
What happens if one of the chakras are damaged by accident, if you have a severe accident of some sort and a spinal injury takes place? Can enlightenment still take place?
It has a problem if it is damaged, but still I have seen with Sahaja, we have people who were spastic and who had to get backbones, who had broken backbones, they became straight and they started. Yesterday only we had a case like that. There was a gentleman who used to use a stick when he walked from childhood. He was limping. He could not walk without a support. Now he walks without a support. He doesn't drag his leg. He can stand on his leg. So it can happen still. So even if it is damaged, you shouldn't worry. We have to work it out. Alright? Krishna has said, Karmanyavadi Karste Harishu Makadaji. Means you have to do the job. You have to work it out. Don't worry about the fruits. That's my attitude is. If I do not do it, you are not going to hit me hard, are you? If I cannot do it, I just cannot do it. I'm not here selling anything, nor have I taken anything from you. I'm trying. That's what I can say. Alright? It's quite clear. What else?
Do you use a different healing process for different illnesses, or is it the same process?
Do you use a different healing process for different illnesses, or is it the same process?
No, Kundalini awakening is the basic thing, alright? But it passes through various chakras. And how to awaken various chakras and deities, we have to tell you how to do it. And that's what you have to learn. And certain things like vibrated water and vibrated things are given to you to eat. For example, liver, people should eat sugar which is sugar cane sugar, and that is vibrated. Then the diabetes people have to eat salt, which is vibrated. Some things like that also help to expedite. So there are some few things like that, very simple and very cheap. Once I asked a lady that you bring 1 kilo of sugar, and she was surprised that she thought I was going to take from the sugar and open a market of sugar. So you have to vibrate the sugar, and when you take the sugar home, you can eat it. That's it. It's very simple. We'll tell you all very, very simple methods. I would request you to keep the Sunday free. I will definitely make myself available for you, and I will tell you how to raise the Kundalini, and how to give realization, and how to heal people. But we are not healers here. We are realized souls.
Yeah. Can you tell me what home did I do with the what is she wearing? I had an accident. What were you wearing?
Mataji is in your way. What is that?
She wants to know what wrong did she do that caused her.
No, she may not have anything any wrong, but I will tell you what what is the matter, but in private. But I'll tell you what happens, how the accidents take place. Accident takes place because there are some spirits who are trying to disturb. They are there, the negative people are there. Not necessarily that you have done any wrong. There's a big fight going on between the divine and the negative. And they'll always try to harm a seeker. From the very childhood, a seeker is attacked. The better he is, attacked more. It's very common, I've seen it. But I'm here to cure you. I know it happens. It's very bad, but they are doing it. And they do it all the time. They're just waiting. Even when you get your realization, when you go out, they'll catch you. And they'll put ideas into your head. They do all kinds of things. So this is one idea you should take out from your mind, that if there is any pain or any trouble, it is because of your wrong or any mistakes. It can be the negative forces which are acting on you, which are working it out. Even on the road, you will find one spot, you will always find an accident. But if you are a realized soul, if you even meet an accident, then you do not get into trouble, and nobody gets. If you are in the car, or in the bus, or even in the train. It is an experience of many people. You are always saved. This is the difference. Because all the angels look after you.
Why do negative forces want to harm people? I mean, I can't understand why they would do that.
You better go and ask them.
Well, I would if you could, but I don't understand.
You see, they're sadists. They enjoy hurting others. They're sadists. They like to destroy. They are destroying forces which are at play. They're all trying to destroy us in many ways. We have to be conscious of them and understand. They're very subtle and they're very attractive. You do not know. Now the destruction is not going to come from outside, it is going to come from within. One has to understand all these things through Sahaja. When you have light, you start seeing them, how they act and how they work it out.
How should we protect ourselves from that?
How should they protect themselves from this?
Yes, that is very important, and that's why I'm saying you must come where he's saying we'll teach you everything. So many things are to be taught, isn't it? How to protect, that's very important. Very important. You are to be protected, no doubt. Now, is it over? I think we have had enough of it. Let's have the Kundalini awakening, alright?